Hello, my name is Robert Unger. I'm the Director of Worship and Music at Resurrection Lutheran Church in Cary, North Carolina. Today I'd like to visit with you about the hymn, Our God, Our Help in Ages Past. This hymn is undoubtedly one of the greatest hymns in the English language. It was first published by Isaac Watts in his Psalms of David. And it's based on a portion of Psalm 90. Watts probably wrote this hymn in 1714 at a time of great national anxiety before the death of Queen Anne. George Sampson, a scholar, in his Wharton lecture to the British Academy in 1943, asks and answers, "What is the greatest of all the English hymns? The hymn that suits all sorts of condition of men, at church or at chapel, on a ship or at a church parade, anywhere. The hymn we can sing in triumph or in adversity, the hymn of consolation, comfort, and resignation." It is the first hymn of Psalm 90, written in common meter by Isaac Watts. How true. But this hymn, based on, as it is, the profoundest psalm on the mystery of time, rises above occasions and situations, reflecting on the inexorable passing of time, expressed in what we call the Greek word chronos. This looks to the kairos, the proper, the right understanding for something, the right time for something, to the God of our eternal salvation. In the final analysis, it is this kairos time that gives meaning and purpose to the chronos time. This hymn was played on the radio by the BBC as soon as World War II was declared, and was later sung at the funeral service of Winston Churchill. The tune is called St. Anne. It was published anonymously as a new tune in a supplement published in London in 1708. William Croft's name has been attached to the tune, and it was attached by two of his contemporaries, Philip Hart and John Church. In the 1708 volume, this tune is called St. Anne, the name of the Soho church where Croft served at the time. Croft was born in a village located a few miles southeast of Stratford-on-Avon in England. He was a child of the Chapel Royal when Dr. John Blow was the master, and he was a pupil of Blow's. From 1700 to 1711, he was the organist at St. Anne's in Soho. Jeremiah Clark and Croft then became joint organists to the Chapel Royal. A year later, he succeeded John Blow as the organist of Westminster Abbey and as a master of the children and the composer at the Chapel Royal, positions that he held from the remainder of his life. He received the Doctor of Music degree from Oxford University, was one of the founders of the Academy of Vocal Music. He died in 1727 at Westminster Abbey. Croft wrote a variety of secular music earlier in his life, but it is for his sacred music, hymns and tunes and anthems, services that he is remembered. Of special interest is also his Musica Sacra, a collection of 30 anthems, which is the earliest example in English church music that has a score engraved and stamped on the plate. In the preface of the work, Croft sets forth the advantages of using scores over part books. I'd like to read portions of Psalm 90 right now for you to reflect as you consider this hymn. Lord, you have been our dwelling place in all generations, before the mountains were brought forth, or ever you had formed the earth. From everlasting to everlasting, you are God. For 1,000 years in your sight is like yesterday when it was past, or like a watch in the night. You sweep them away, they are like a dream, like grass that is renewed in the morning. In the morning it flourishes and is renewed. In the evening it fades and withers. So teach us to count our days, that we may gain a wise heart. Turn, O Lord, how long? Have compassion on your servants. Satisfy us in the morning with your unsteadfast love, so that we may rejoice and be glad in our days. Let your work be a manifest to your servant, and your glorious power to children. Let the favor of the Lord our God be upon us, and prosper us for the works of our own hands. O prosper the work of our hands. Past and present and future, you have been our God in the past. You promised to be our God in the future, and we need you right now, Lord. You have a God who has been faithful in the past, in your past. You have a God who has made faithful promises for your future. You have a God who is there for you even in the midst of your present, even when God feels far away. I'd like to read verse 6 of most hymnal versions of O God, our help in ages past. O God, our help in ages past, our hope for years to come. Be thou our guard while troubles last, and our eternal home. I'd like to play the last verse on the organ.